Svi znamo, kao što je spomenuo gospodin Budiša, da postoje energane u Beču. Jedna od njih je nedavno navršila svoj 60. rođendan. U najavi mog idućeg prezentera malo ću se prebaciti na engleski jezik. Wien Energie has 4 plants for production of energy from waste. Their waste-to-energy plants are integrated into Vienna's heating system, producing heat throughout incineration process and providing approximately 1/3 of the total heating required. Alexander Kirchner, procurator and head of Department for Energy Production and Circular Economy at Wien Energie, will tell us how it works, what are the challenges and plans for the future. Mr. Kirchner, izvolite.
So, thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the invitation to this Congress here. I welcome you from the heart of Vienna, and as you all know, Vienna is the most livable city in the world, and it's one of the cleanest cities of the world. Why is it? One of the reasons is that we have a very well-balanced waste management system, and I want to tell you more about that, especially about the waste treatment plant in Vienna. You can see the picture here. It's the waste treatment plant Spittelau, a piece of art in the middle of Vienna, but more about that later. First of all, what is our approach to waste management? You have to keep everything in mind, not only waste incineration. First of all, you always have the waste prevention in the waste hierarchy. That is important. Waste that is not produced is the best waste. You don't have to do anything with it, yeah? What you can't prevent, you have to reduce. So reduce your waste as far as possible, reduce consumption, so that you have less of the waste. After that, what is left should be recycled. That is the next part. And only the part that can't be recycled, the non-recyclable waste, only this fraction should end up in a recovery option, like a waste-to-energy plant. And what is left afterwards should go to a landfill after a volume reduction of more than 90%. So this is a whole picture, not only talking about one perspective, it's everything that we need, every part of the hierarchy, to have a well-functioning system. In Vienna, we have a separate collection. We are collecting all the waste as far as possible separately so that we get a lot of raw materials out of it. More than half of the waste collected goes into recycling, for example, and we collect it via backyard collection with a picking up system. We collect it with curbside collection or recycling centers where you can bring your waste, and we have the street cleaning, so different options to get the waste. The recycling labels are separated afterwards from the residual waste, and we focus in Vienna on high quality for the recycling material so that you can get good raw material out of it, so that you can use it as a part of a circular economy once again. What is left, the non-recyclable waste, ends up in the waste-to-energy plants, and here we are doing energy recovery, which is a very important part for the energy supply of Vienna. As it was said before, about 1/3 of one of the biggest district heating networks in Europe, for 2 million inhabitants, is supplied with district heating from the waste incineration plants. So this is very important also to get rid of fossil fuels that we are getting at the moment from Russia or from other countries. We want to do it by our own. We already have it here in the city. Why don't we use it, yeah? So this is one thing that is important and is very well functioning. Since 2009, no municipal waste goes directly to the landfill. Not 10% or something like that, 0%. Nothing goes directly to the landfill, and everything is used before, whether it is recycled or it is treated in a waste-to-energy plant. And we're using the best environmental technology that is available so that we have sound solutions providing energy for our citizens, and that makes it possible that we have these energy plants also in the middle of the city, not only somewhere outside where you can't see it, yeah, in the middle of the city. How does it work exactly? We're collecting about 600,000 tons per year with the collection that I said before, and all of that waste that can't be recycled ends up in the waste incineration plants. We have 4 plants in our city. One of them is already 60 years old, so we have a lot of history going on with this technology. We have a lot of experience with it. The other one is the plant in Spittelau, and the other ones in Pfaffenau and at the fluidized bed reactor in Simmeringer Heide. After the treatment, after the energy production, all the waste is reduced. We only have less than, let's say, about 5% of the waste that is left when it comes to volume, and that helps us. And the residuals after the incineration process, they are treated once again. We get out the metals and the non-ferrous metals like aluminum, like copper, everything that can be used again as a raw material. And that goes into recycling as well. And the rest of it is mixed up with cement and water. So we are producing with the residues some kind of concrete. And we use the concrete for our landfill that we have also in Vienna. Not outside, in the city, in Vienna, we have the landfill. And there we use it for concrete to protect the environment at the landfill. So it's a very good situation where we can use almost everything that comes out of the plant, whether as a raw material or as energy. Let's take a look into history. It wasn't always as it is today, yeah? If you take a look at the municipal waste generated in Vienna, and take a look at 100 years ago, yeah, everything that was produced landed up on the landfill or somewhere else, yeah? You can see that the yellow part. The residual waste wasn't treated at all, it was just thrown away. And it was only about 100,000 tons per year. Today we have almost 1 million tons, yeah? So it's tenfold in the meanwhile. We have a lot of more waste, which is because we have more inhabitants in Vienna, but it's also because of our culture, of our consumption that we have, yeah? So you have to find solutions for such high amounts of waste. And our solution you can see here, with the red-lined area, we don't bring it to the landfill anymore, we treat it for the energy production, and since the 1980s, we're also collecting separately everything that can be recycled. So nothing ends up untreated at landfills. That is very important, and it was a long way to go. You have to begin with that way. Not only talk about it, you have to realize it. When it comes to the waste-to-energy plant Spittelau, it's the world's most famous plant. We have many visitors there. Last year we had 20,000 visitors inside the plant. It's not only a plant, it's a site. Yeah? Everybody wants to see it, everyone wants to go inside, and it's open for everyone. It's nothing to hide there. Before, in the 1980s, the plant looked like what you can see here, a typical industrial plant. Afterwards, it was designed by Friedensreich Hundertwasser, a famous painter and architect, and a forethinker when it comes to circular economy. He was one of the leading figures of the green movement in Austria, and he got informed about 2 years about that plant before he decided to redesign it, because he wanted to do something meaningful, yeah? He wanted to support it only if he is really convinced that it is the best way to treat the problem of waste that we have right now at the moment. And the result you can see there, it's a piece of art in the meanwhile. And this piece of art is located in the middle of Vienna and treats about 270,000 tons only at this plant. So this is the reason why it comes to public acceptance, yeah? How is it going? You said it before, the Viennese people, they are not dying because of the smoke coming out, yeah? No, that's not the reason. We are the cleanest city in the world and we are proud of that. And you can see it here. We have a lot of guided tours through the plant. We are open there. We have transparency, what is very important. Inform the people, inform the citizens, give them objective information, not ideologic thinkings or believings, yeah? Information, that is the important point, and that is why it works so well. We have a very, very good acceptance there. Everybody's proud of that plant, and 10,000 of people are living only a few meters away from that plant. Imagine that, yeah? And it's working well. So what are the performances that we get out of this plant? We have 270,000 tons. This is about 1/4 of all the waste generated in Vienna. And we can produce heat via the district heating network for approximately 69,000 households, only with that one plant. We can produce electricity for about 22,000 households, only with that plant. And we can even produce district cooling when it comes to climate warming. Cities are highly impacted. When it comes to climate warming, also the district cooling is more and more in focus. and we can substitute about 5,000 standard air conditioning units for apartments. They are not on the houses anymore. You don't see anything. They're just provided via a district cooling network. This is our newest development that we have there. So we get a lot of energy out of this plant, and about 1/3 of all the energy that we need in Vienna is provided by waste incineration. It's not thrown away, giving to someone else. It's environmentally friendly treated, and the emission values that are always discussed, you can see them every time, every second, yeah, on the internet. Just go on the internet right now, you can see what comes out of the stack of this plant, and you can see that we are far below the emission values, the emission limits that we have. The European ones, in Austria, they are even stricter, much more strict, and also we are about 90% below that. So it's a really environmentally sound solution, and I can tell you I have 20 years of experience. I've worked in this plant from the beginning on, and in several other plants. It's the best solution that we have right now at the moment to treat the problem of waste, of non-recyclable waste. Everything that can be recycled should be, but what is left, you need some solution. Yeah, and that's the reason why we are still living in the most livable city in the world, and why we are looking forward to power that city also in the future with the waste that we have. For us, it's not waste, it's some kind of raw material, and it's energy. Thank you for your attention.
Nadam se da neću poginuti danas na ovoj stepenici. Ako možda neko ima pitanje za gospodina Kirchnera, vrlo rado ćemo primiti. Evo, izvolite, samo kratko, molim vas.
Regarding this fume going out, reduced one in the second photo with the renewed chimney, so to say. Yeah. Your investments in filters, how it goes, really? This is something that I expect you are pretty much informed. How you have this upgrade following these. Sorry, just that.
The fume, the smoke coming out of the stack, just to make it a little bit more technical, it's CO2 and it's water. Yeah, what you see is the same when you breathe in and go out. When it's cold outside and you breathe out, then you see the same fume that is coming out from the stack there. It's water, vapor, yeah, and it's CO2. So this is what's mainly coming out. And all the other pollutants that you were talking about, like sulfur dioxide and other things, nitrogen oxide and so on, they are cleaned by cleaning machines that we have inside that plant. So we have a lot of waste, not only waste treatment, we also have the flue gas treatment, and we have a wastewater treatment at the plant before we give it back to the air. About, if you take it at volume, yeah, about 2/3 of the plant are only for flue gas treatment and wastewater treatment. 1/3 of the plant is for incineration process. So you see a lot of flue gas treatment systems are there to protect the air and to protect the people there. Always keep in mind the alternatives, yeah? If you don't treat it that way and just put it to a landfill, same processes happen there, but they are not controlled. We always call it cold incineration, yeah? About several years. And a lot of methane comes out of the landfills, but it's uncontrolled and nothing is prohibited and nothing is protected, yeah? But if it's in a waste incineration plant, you have it under controlled and stable conditions, and the techniques, yeah? Everything is there. And it's working not only in Vienna, it's working worldwide in many other cities, so that there is no problem with the smoke coming out of the stack, yeah?
Actually, my question was, when you build the incinerator, you haven't finished. Mm-hmm. You have to follow that financially all the time to upgrade this cleaning process, right?
That's right, yeah.
Nismo zamislili pitanja, ali jednostavno ne možemo odbiti. Profesor, izvolite.
Just a short question. You mentioned the CO2 is exiting your pipe. Okay, that's normal. But have you made any calculations how much of this CO2 is fossil origin? I'm asking that in the light of expected inclusion of energy system incineration into emission trade system by 2026.
That's a very good question, and I can tell you we are sure that the waste incineration will be part of the emission trading scheme that we have right now. I think something about 2028 will be the year when they get into the ETS scheme. And then it's important to know how many biogenic CO2 that you have and how much of fossil CO2 that you have. Yeah? In Vienna, we made calculations and we're monitoring it at the moment. We have about 60% of biogenic origin, yeah, when it comes to the waste. So 60% of the CO2 coming out are climate neutral. This is already renewable right now at the moment without any changes. You can put it in simple words, about half of the plant is a biomass plant in the end, yeah? And that might be the same here in Croatia. It always depends on the waste composition, yeah? The other part, the 40%, they are of fossil origin. And we try to reduce this fossil origin, yeah, as far as possible, but there will always be some fossil CO2 left in the end. New technologies are arising. At the moment, we are planning to build up a carbon capture plant for our waste incineration in the future, especially when the emission trading scheme is put into practice. And that makes it possible that the waste incineration plant will be climate neutral. Not only climate neutral, it will also be climate positive, with a positive effect, because you always get rid of the fossil CO2 and of the biogenic CO2, which is already climate neutral. So this is our plan when it comes to that part. But roughly said, about half of the waste is always of biogenic origin, those being climate neutral.
Thank you very much.